Guten Tag, I am Thak. Welcome to my workshop. Okay, enough of that. Moving on. Welcome to the fourth and final video in this series on the Repousse wolf head. What we're going to do right now to start out with is just antique this or finish this and put a finish on it. Starting with removing the Sharpie lines. I use a few different products for that. Today I'm using ProSolve, Desolve it, and just need to spray that on, let it soak in for a second, and then we're going to wipe it away. This is a degreaser as well, so we can get rid of all the grease and stuff. So I've got my super glue here, and I'm just going to paint this over the entire surface, and this puts a patina on the entire surface. Basically what I'm trying to do is fill in the crevices with darkness, and then afterwards we're going to get some sandpaper and buff out the highlights to really contrast the dark and the light there, really pull out the highlights. So just brush this on, let it sit for a moment or two, darken up. Okay, that is good enough. I'm going to put it in the water now to neutralize the effect of the acid. That, and now I will just dry that off. So this leaves it with a very, I don't know, steely, dark, gray, brown sort of effect. And now as we start to sand this, you will see the highlights come out. So I'm just going to demonstrate with sandpaper what happens when you just sand out some of the highlights. And I'm just working over the surface, and the natural depressions in there are going to stay dark, and it'll pull out your highlights and kind of give you a grand reveal as to what you actually did with your hammering. Now to get in and get, always nice to get the eyeballs shined up. There you can see fairly quickly the contrast jumping out there. Sandpaper gives one effect. You can also use steel wool and get a much more mellow or softer effect. If you want to go for something with a higher contrast, I tend to use my die grinder with a little Scotch-Brite product, these little roll-lock discs. This one is the blue, which is the fine one, and I'll just grab my air hose and demonstrate that, what happens. All right, let's recap the steps involved so far. So the first thing you need to do is obtain a drawing of some sort, whether you draw something yourself or pull something off the internet, whatever you need to do. Second thing is from that to make a clay maquette or a little sculpture or mock-up out of clay, modeling clay, plasticine, what have you. Then what you need to do is obtain your piece of sheet steel or brass or copper or whatever it is that you're going to be making this out of. I use brass on mine. That needs to be annealed. Then you need to gather your tools together, things like the sandbag, a raising hammer, ball peen hammer, chisels, whatever you can accumulate for that. That's about the bare minimum. Now you can begin with the metal, and what you do is trace out the outline and then start dishing In this case, we're dishing as opposed to raising. We're not going for a whole lot of depth, so we're just going to dish out the rough outline, a slight bulge in order to get started. Flip that over, then draw the face onto the outside surface and begin hammering over the stake, and you start dropping in your landmarks. From there, it's just a lot of working from the outside and then to the inside, inside, outside, back and forth until you achieve most of the shape. Within that time, you'll probably have to anneal once, maybe twice, depending. Then, once you've achieved a reasonable level of detail, you want to get in with your chisels and refine the detail with the chisels. Then it's just more inside, outside, back and forth ad nauseum until you basically abandon the shape. You get it to whatever desired level of detail you're willing to work with. Once you've got that, then you degrease the whole thing, put some sort of gun blue on it, and then buff out the highlights. And there we have it. We have our finished piece. And then you can use that for whatever it is that you want to. This might make something like a shield boss. So let's look at this little wolf head in context as far as a piece of repousse. I only spent a little over an hour on the sculpting. I wanted to do bare minimum as far as input to try to achieve a result, hoping that for a student that makes it a little bit more approachable as to a starting point, something to aim for. If you spend more time, you put in more refinement, you should be able to get a much more refined product. Look at these guys, for example. This is a bikini top I'm working on. Bikini season is coming. Actually, no. They are actually for saddlebags for my motorcycle that I'm building. I've been building these saddlebags for a very long time. Hand-stitched leather, and should be finishing them off soon. I will feature these in an upcoming video just for your interest. If you have been watching my channel, and I hope that you are, you've probably seen the Kingslayer pauldron build. I believe we spent about 10 hours on the actual repousse portion of the lion head to achieve this level of detail here. And then if we will go over to our far right here, my far right, this copper face I did in a video a few years ago. There was a demonstration that I did, and this was about a 7 or 8 hour process, and you can see the level of detail that you can actually achieve when you put in some more time. So hopefully that has been helpful for you. We are trying to make this series as a tutorial that is easy for the student to grasp and understand and follow along. I would like to see you guys out there make your piece, send us photos. We will post them on Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. I want to get some feedback that way. I'm very curious to see what you guys pull out of it. Also, your comments, how can we improve this? What could we do better in upcoming tutorials? I would like to do more tutorials on various things, but it seems the repousse seems to be a bit of a demand for my viewership, and I would like to do more of that. I have never done pitch backing with pine pitch backing for repousse, and I would like to experiment with that sometime, and I think we might do that in an upcoming video because that would allow me to do a different type of strategy. So look forward to that in the future. I can't think of anything else at this point. So thumbs up, all that stuff, comments below. Please subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thak out.